Good day, friends, and a warm welcome to TBN Meets. Now, if you're interested in how to build a business that can make an eternal, godly difference in society, then today's show is especially for you. Kea Modise Muloto is an ambitious businesswoman, founding Mushito Communications, Buntlebame NPO, Buntlebame Hair and Beauty, yeah, come on, South Africa's National Givers Awards, and the Christian Women in Business Network. She recently received an award for the role, it is called the Business Women Association South Africa, in the Social Entrepreneur category. She was also selected for the NZ Africa Mentorship Program for female social entrepreneurs promising to impact Africa positively, and was awarded the 2015 and 2016 Brand South Africa Play Your Part Award for playing a crucial part in impacting communities. Kea's recognition of her calling to influence life positively encourages her to continue efforts to fight against abuse and other injustices. All the initiatives that she is involved in seek to bring together different communities and individuals towards mental, emotional, and spiritual empowerment and upliftment. But on top of it all, Kea is a mother, a wife, and she's currently working on her dissertation towards completing an MBA. You are one busy woman. I don't know how you even fit it all. Welcome, Kea.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It fits somehow.
And you feel you have time for everything?
You have to make time for what you care about.
Amen.
So that's what I do. There's a lot to do. There's a lot I wish I could do. So I make time as I go along. Sometimes I do feel overwhelmed, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But yes, it's about making time.
Now, I'm interested in how you went from modeling to all these other great things that you do.
I believe that, looking back now, I see that everything is connected. Modeling was about one way they teach you how to interact with people, how to present yourself to people, and how you have, when you do modeling, you respect all the different people that might be working on set. You meet different cultures of people. And I think now, in my position and the work that I do, once again, I have to deal and interact with different people from different backgrounds. So somehow they are connected. And you know, that respect that I learned from that age, I'm using it now. And that's how I'm able to then connect with people, because of the respect that is now instilled in me.
But it's amazing, though, how God uses whatever experience we've had in the past for what we're doing right now, you know? Because all things work for the good.
All things work for the good of the Lord.
Amen.
And, you know, I've learned recently that no matter what, God is there. Whether we recognize Him or we don't recognize His presence in that situation. And it could be after 6 months or 6 years that you will realize that, oh, when such and such happened, it was for the reason of completing this that I'm busy with right now, or to fall in perfectly into what I'm doing at that particular moment. So it all comes together. I say that ambitions and aspirations are seeds to the life that God wants us to live.
Wow.
So the dots must connect towards that seed blossoming.
What has been the drive behind your many achievements?
Oh, Lord, so love
Yeah.
for what I do. The awards that I have been blessed enough to receive, I did not see them coming. I did not expect them. It was a surprise. I appreciate, and for me, it's just a pat on the back to say, you're doing something good. So love for what I do, and really the commitment that I will not explain to you where it comes from, but I believe is the God in me, the commitment to connect with people and uplift and make a difference in people's lives.
I think that's awesome, you know, and although you do so much, you know, but one can definitely see the Christ in you. So when did you come to know Christ, and what has He meant, you know, in your life?
I grew up in a Christian family. I think most black families are Christian families. Most families, South African families, are Christian families. But we don't really know Jesus. We don't really know God. We go to church every Sunday because it's Sunday. Mommy wakes you up to go to church. I thought I knew God. I thought I knew Jesus.
I think we all think we did, yeah?
Yes,
Yeah.
until last year
Wow.
that I was involved in a terrible car accident, and I lost everything. Life for me changed as I had known it before. And I felt lonely, I felt lost. I literally felt like I was going down a ditch.
Wow.
You know, so that was continuous. That when I thought I was at my lowest, I was still going lower and lower and lower. And I went through a period of wanting my life to end.
Wow.
But caught in between the fact that God put me here, that I'm still breathing. God wants me here. So I need to be strong. I need to keep going. I need to keep pushing. And in that, I met Jesus. I met God, because at my weakest, He kept me going. At my weakest, God showed up. So where not my mother or anybody could pull me out. The only thing that pulled me out was the fact that I have my daughter to take care of. You know, if it wasn't for that, I don't know if I would have seen God the way that I saw God. I think my daughter gave me an opportunity to really come face to face with God and feel His strength come into my body day by day, counting every step that I take. Every step was a godly step, because I had no will, no strength, no want, but God showed up and He strengthened me and He built me and He loved me. You know, when you're loved by God and you feel His love hug you and all you can do is cry. Then I met God. How many years later?
Of things that you actually knew Him. And I think that's
Yeah.
always just like so amazing, you know, because sometimes we have to get to that point in our lives before we can actually meet Him and realize who He is. And some of the times he's way different to the person that somebody else. You know, it's like knowing about someone and then meeting them and then you're like, man, it's a whole different experience.
I know, it's a totally different experience. And so I encourage people that I am lucky enough to have this personal discussion with, to don't let my God, even though it's one God, don't let my God be your God. Because my God, my daddy is my daddy, and the way that He loves me, I don't think it's going to be the same way that He loves you. So give yourself a chance to experience God and feel and find that love and encouragement and security that is only meant for you. And we can take that example into our earthly, worldly lives, that your mom, for instance, she's got how many sons? You're all different, and you all get different things from her, and she knows exactly what to give you. So if you go looking for your brother's love from your mom, you're gonna miss out on your own.
That's right.
So the relationship between your brother and your mom can only be exemplary of what you can get. But it's your duty and responsibility and such a blessing to go on a journey of discovering what God can be for you.
Because it can only just be different, right? I mean, it's like taking in science.
Yeah.
And I know you're the educated one here.
Oh no, not the science. Not the science.
But the thing is, in science, you know, like no two elements can ever form the same, the same compound.
Yes, if you
so,
say so.
So if I'm trying to have the same relationship that you have with God, I'm going to miss out on the special relationship that I can have, you know, with God. So, so I think that's wonderful, and the fact that you've actually come to that realization and to that moment. Let's get into the work that you do. Bontle Bame.
Yes.
So that seems to be sort of the, how can I say it, like the umbrella organization that you sort of do your service and your ministry through.
Yes.
Tell us about the name and also what it is that you guys, that you guys do.
Okay. Bontle Bame, first of all, it's a Tswana word that means my core beauty. Now, I came up with the word Bontle Bame because I believe that we are all born beautiful. Beauty is innate of all of us. And it's only our experiences that either do not allow us to experience or know or acknowledge or recognize that we are beautiful. So Bontle Bame, every time you say Bontle Bame, when you Loyiso say Bontle Bame, you are calling your beauty, you're saying my beauty.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that reminds people of the fact that they have that beauty. So the work of Bontle Bame is to really interrogate and make sure that every single person that we interact with, that beauty is ignited. that after we have had our engagement, whether through a workshop or a special event or just a counseling session, that you walk away with something ignited in your heart, and that's going to change your life. And I usually say your life might not change today by what we are doing today, but I hope that 5 months from today, 5 years from today, the CD of today will pull out and play, and you will realize, oh, on such and such a date when I was where with Bontlebame, this is what I learned. So we empower in a way that we teach, that we impart knowledge, that we give love, that we minister with everything that I do. Actually, I now that I understand God better and my role better, I know that it is the ministry. So we started off focusing on just women and trying to engage with women to remind them of their beauty, their talent, what they enjoy most, because women get married, become mothers, and forget about their joy. So the initial intention was to remind them of their joy. Through working closely with women, I then realized that it's not that they've forgotten their joy. Some of them were never even taught that joy is part of what.
Look, I think we all need to be reminded daily.
Yes,
Do you know what I mean? Because
yeah.
somehow it's as if we forget. So
True. So they don't know the joy, or they don't know that they are special or unique and that they are destined for better because of oppression, because of abuse, because they come from a home where they're not told that you're clever, where they're not told that your dreams can come true, and so forth. So our focus then shifted towards really focusing on dealing with issues of abuse, because abuse comes in different ways. And when we deal and we do counseling and we empower, then the inner beauty starts to come alive, and they can then focus not only on the negative is the negative, it's there, but let's focus on the positive, because the positive is going to overcome and overshadow.
and it outweighs, like it
Yes.
outweighs the negative.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. We go around women and the youth to ignite that beauty from within. Whatever we do, for instance, the example of Christian Women in Business Network.
Yeah.
You've got professional women and business women coming together to engage, to grow each other. But the funds that come from there go towards the Bontlebame's Girls of Hope program, where we interact with girls in your rural areas and your township areas, where we impart knowledge, access to information that they don't have. They don't have, because mommy is working. It's a domestic worker, and she's away for the whole month, They stay in a house. There's 12 of them staying in a 2-bedroom house. So there's a lot of gaps that need to be filled, and that's when Bontlebame Girls of Hope comes into play, to bring these girls together, have real conversations that they're not going to have with mom or with the aunt. Yeah.
Because all these things really kind of build confidence in people. When suddenly you're able to get the same opportunities as somebody else, you then don't feel inferior to them. Because you're not inferior to them.
Because you're not
Do you know
inferior.
what I mean? So I get it. The fact that it's that beauty that you guys are trying to bring out. We're not saying we're making you beautiful.
No.
We're just showing you where your beauty is.
Yes.
So I think that's absolutely beautiful. But
Yeah.
I want to speak about just for a little while, because there must have been something that inspired you. Was it a need that you saw in society to build such an organization?
Yes. Driving to Polokwane, I don't know if you've driven from Johannesburg to Polokwane.
Many times.
You'll see small villages along the N1, in the middle of nowhere, and there's huts and tin houses. And I used to drive there quite a lot between 2007 and 2010. And I started wondering, do these people know that there is life outside that village? And what do they do on a Saturday? What do they do after school? And I think that's what planted the seed. And I interacted with the home in Winterveld in Pretoria, one of the poorest townships in South Africa, if not Gauteng. And I saw a young girl that was becoming a woman. She was taller than all her peers, and she's belonged to this group for the longest time. But I saw her become lost. I think it was the second time that I saw her. But I saw her being confused about who she is. She was becoming a woman, her breasts were developing, and everybody else in the group was still a young child. And I realized that this young girl does not understand or realize what's going on in her life. And then I realized that she could be pregnant tomorrow.
Wow.
I realized that there's nobody talking to her about the birds and the bees, you know? And who are we going to blame? I have the information. If I shared that information, I'm sure it will somehow save her or change the direction of her life. Does she know that she can say no to an uncle or a cousin that tries to rape her or to have sexual relationship? Does she know that she can say no? So just wanting to make that difference actually led to Buntlebame becoming an organization, because I was just doing it as Kea.
Wow.
But then when you go looking for financial assistance or support from organizations, they say, who are you? We don't sponsor individuals, but organizations. And that's when I went to register the organization. But really just trying to give people a second chance, which I know is there, was what inspired me. What inspires me up to today.
Wow. How old were you then at that time?
2010.
The reason I'm asking is because obviously, I mean, like you're young, and so you must have been way younger then. But that goes to show that there's no time to start making a difference. There's no age to it. You don't have to say, oh no, I want to wait until I have this much.
Yes.
Like, did you go and speak to that? You know, like, did you go and speak to that girl?
I still have that girl under my wing.
But that's amazing. So the work of Buntlebame started before the organization was even registered. Because I know a lot of people out there will be like, oh no, you know, I wanna just register the company first. It's like, if you want to do a service, do it first. You know, if you want to sing, don't wait to get a record deal. Just sing and make a difference.
Thank you. And that's what I teach the youth, that if you want to be a singer, if you want to be a doctor, that work starts today.
Amen.
Every single day you have got to do something that gets you closer to, and you don't want to be, you are.
Yes, absolutely.
You understand?
I mean, also because some people also struggle, right? It's like, yeah, I'm going, I went to go look for a job, and they asked me, what experience do I have? What experience am I going to have? I just came out of varsity. True, but the thing is, if you actually apply yourself to what you do, like for instance, I could have gone for a singing job. And someone would have said, but what experience do you have? I would have said, well, when I was at varsity, I joined the choir. I used to go around to the nearest community, and I used to sing with my people. So, you know, I hope that this really can just speak to people out there for the fact that you don't have to have the qualification. You don't have to have the company, but that the difference you want to make, you can do it right now.
Correct.
And that's the most that I'm going to talk on this. Because I feel like I've literally taken up all your time. So let's speak about the Christian women in business network that you started, because that's quite interesting.
It's scary, number one, but really it's the joy of my life right now, because it gives us an opportunity to bring God and take God to unexpected spaces. When we, as women, business women, as professional women, and we are not ashamed to call ourselves Christians. When on Monday I go to work and I know that my Christian values have to show up in the way that I interact with my team or I manage my team, that for me is the exciting part.
And it's not easy.
It's
you
not
know,
easy.
It's easy to just throw it out the window when you have to go and shout at someone so that you can just get the work done, because it's all about revenue.
Exactly.
And not about making a difference.
Yeah. If you do it with Jesus' values,
amen,
the revenue will come. Because even God says, just do what you do and the results will come. You know, don't worry about plans. Just believe and connect with me and your plans will become alive. That's it. That's a verse in Proverbs I met this week, and it just blew me away, that do not waste time with planning. Do what you have to do, and God's plan will then manifest in your life. So
because you know what you have to do today.
Yes.
Forget about, you know, tomorrow and in other days, because God is in that already. You know, the Bible tells us it's about what you have to do today. So speaking of today and now, what work are you guys doing as the Christian Women in Business Network?
You know, we launched for the first time in KZN in April.
Yeah.
And the funds raised from that launch are already funding 14 girls in KZN.
Wow.
And they're doing a business and entrepreneurship skills development for 12 weeks. These are young girls that did their matric grade 12 last year and had no way of continuing their studies or even thinking that they could do something beyond matric. They come from Inanda. I'm talking about teen girls that I got a shock when one of them asked me, I don't understand why I must have an email address if I have SMS.
Okay.
I tried to explain the difference. While I'm explaining the difference, the other one in the group says, what is an email?
Wow.
Grade 12 learners that are meant to be applying online to go to varsity or to further their studies, and they don't know what an email is. And that is the reality of South Africa that we live in, that you and I are okay, and we think this is life. So we are busy with that. I'm very happy that they are experiencing this business skills development. We've got what we call the grade 12 intervention, for the very same reasons that I only learned last year, where we bring together grade 12 students and we drive and inform them of critical issues they need to know to be able to continue life and education beyond matric. Do they know? Some of them have never touched a computer. Just switching it on, logging onto the internet, how to research on Google, what institutions offer, what qualifications. You can dream beyond being a teacher, you know. The fact that you see a teacher every day and you like standing in front of people and does not mean that you have to be a teacher. We had a session last week where we brought in young female pilots to the group, and it was unbelievable to these girls that a female pilot, you mean you get on the plane and you fly it?
And you're a woman?
And you're a woman.
Yeah.
A black girl from KZN. And some of them have never been to the airport in that group, you understand?
Yeah.
So I am, without sounding arrogant or whatever, I'm going to say the little steps that we make are really impacting and making a difference. And to somebody that's looking from the outside might not know what's really going on. Or there's Buntlebame meeting with a group of 10 girls again. But what we're talking about, what the life-changing conversations and enlightenment that we share is really amazing, Loiso, and you don't get to see the change now. You know, the fact that they met the pilot girl last week, we don't get to see the change now. But after they left, while we were waiting for transport, the other one came to me to say, can I have the lady's contact details? I also want to apply.
I mean, that's amazing. I remember it was back in 1994. I'm going to give my age away as well. I was about 14 at the time, you know, and I was at the Drakensberg Boys Choir, and they said, listen, the president is going to come and watch you guys perform. And Madiba had just become president at that time. You know, we knew that he was the president, but the day that I met him, and then he spoke Xhosa to me, which is a language that I speak, and I just thought, I have never ever in my life thought that it would ever be possible for someone like me to become someone like him. I mean, yes, I'd have to probably live 500 years to be like my diva. But the thing is, but I guess what you guys are doing, you are making that possibility possible. Because the thing is, because everything that we are, it starts inside, right? Because once you believe it, which is that light that you bring to them, you sort of become that. Now, my next question is, how can people, and I'm talking about young girls, you know, who want to be mentored through the project, but more than that, just business women out there who would like to be a part of the Business Women's Network?
We are on, the best way to get hold of us or to start interacting with us is through our website. It's got all the information, www.buntlebame.com. We're on Facebook as Buntlebame, on Instagram as Buntlebame.
And on SMS? For those that have email.
My number is everywhere.
I'm teasing.
My number is everywhere. Be it the website or Facebook. I have literally given myself to the world.
Wow.
So my phone number is there, and if I don't pick up the phone today, I will reply by tomorrow. It's the only phone that I have. So my family in South Africa will get me on that phone. And before I forget, I want to say that talking about the light and planning or thinking about I want to become, we must always remember Isaiah scripture that God has a plan already for us.
Amen.
You understand? So whatever we feel passionate about, we must just action. God wants to be glorified, and when his plan comes alive, he's glorified. So when we action that we feel passionate about, which we feel passionate about, then we are actioning God's plan. And it might be difficult, there might be challenges, but it will come together, and your life's dreams will literally, you will be living that.
Well, I mean, I think that's wonderful, because once you're actioning God's plans, you've got all the angels, you know, with you, because they obviously make sure that the word of God becomes a reality, and they never fail. You know what I mean? So it's not just you, but that you've got a whole lot of people behind what it is that you're doing. Kea, I think you are absolutely amazing, and it's amazing the great work that you are doing. We just want to know, what are the future plans for Buntlebame?
Buntlebame is going to grow. It's growing. It's been growing organically through the years. The Christian Women in Business Network is going to keep us busy. We launched in KZN in April, in Gauteng in July. We already have invitations in the Eastern Cape, in Polokwane. We just have to decide where we're going to start, you know. We also are partnering Buntlebame, the Christian Women in Business Network, with a magazine that we call Arise. That's going to feature professional women and business women that have really become, because of their faith in God, that are not afraid to say, my life in business changed, or my life in my professional career changed because of God. So we're going to feature those women in this magazine, and we want this magazine to be a platform for these women that are in the network, outside the network, and the different brands and organizations that want to interact with these women. So the Christian Women in Business is going to grow, and what I like most about it is that where there is the network, where the network is launched, then there is a group of teen girls from a rural area that are going to benefit directly from there. So we're also not growing the Christian Business in Network, but also the reach of Buntlebame Girls of Hope throughout South Africa.
Well, what's beautiful is that, as it always happens, you know, heroes build other heroes, and that, you know, you guys are not just building a generation, but that you're building generations to come. Because we pray that these girls, that you know, the Christian Women in Business Network is working with, and different people that it meets along the way, that those ones in the next few years will see them as part of the Christian Women in Business Network. And I believe it's going to happen, because it's what we do. We just believe. Kea, thank you so much for coming onto TBN Meets.
Thank you for having me.
And all the best. So guys,
Buntlebame.
you can be a part of the great work that Kea is doing by going to Buntlebame, www.buntlebame.com. When you're there, you'll be totally blown away. I've checked this out, and there are just so many things that we didn't even get to discuss today with Kea. And if you've been blessed by this episode, please let us know by emailing us at info@tbninafrica.org. We always love hearing from you. Now remember, there are only a few days left for you to join us on our trip to Israel. So register by the 31st of July, not on the 31st of July, but by the 31st of July, and check out the video right after this episode for more details. From us here in the studio with Kea, amazing woman, good night and God bless.